A former student says a male driver tried to kidnap her behind the Lorenzo. We'll get details from DPS.
And Brexit is officially underway. What this means for the EU and the UK coming up.
And a new app can help if you have a message for your senator or representative. We'll see how it works.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
A former USC student told campus security that a driver tried to kidnap her yesterday afternoon. Good evening, I'm Kaylee Heck.
And I'm Rachel Ramos. DPS says the incident happened near campus after she called a car service. Annenberg Media's Grace DeWitt has details on the investigation.
It was here, just behind the Lorenzo housing complex, that an attempted kidnapping was reported last night. A former female student told DPS a male suspect posing as an Uber driver tried to trick her into getting into his car and then tried to force her inside.
She was approached by a couple of guys in a parked car who led her to believe that they were the driver. It didn't fit, according to her.
A security officer for the Lorenzo, who said he was at the scene at the time of the incident, said he saw nothing that was described in the DPS report. Chief David Carlisle addressed the confusion today.
As you work through the case, different factors come to light, different evidence is gathered, and things can change.
Uber has basic safety recommendations for all riders, but some students on campus admit they don't always follow those suggestions.
I usually check the license plate, but sometimes I'll just say like for Evan, and then like even if they're not for me, they could just say yes.
There's so many instances where you just jump in and you say, "Oh, it's Melanie," and they say yeah, and it's a bit scary.
Chief Carlisle wanted to remind students that there is safety in numbers, to ride with a friend and meet drivers at busy intersections when possible. For Annenberg Media, I'm Grace DeWitt.
We just received new information from DPS. The suspects are described as black males between 25 and 30 years old. One is 6'2" and 230 pounds. They were driving a white Honda Civic with green and black paper plates.
Today is the first full day of the new undergraduate student government. Annenberg Media's Cole Sullivan spoke with USG President Austin Dunn and students at cultural resource centers who say his agenda could make a big difference for them.
I, Austin Dunn.
It's an official moment, months in the making.
It feels pretty exciting. I think it's kind of been a long time coming.
As Austin Dunn takes control of USG and its $2.3 million budget, he's already got a lot on the agenda.
Big name projects like a fall break, like an Uber project, that are applicable to all students.
One of the major efforts Dunn says he wants to help promote are cultural assemblies and resource centers like this Center for Black Cultural and Student Affairs.
This has always been home for me for like the past 3 years.
Margella Elad says this is where she feels most comfortable on campus.
It's basically my safe space.
And just down the hall at Asian Pacific American Student Services, Alex Kanigawa says pretty much the same thing.
For me personally, I wouldn't have probably stayed here at USC if APAS hadn't been here.
He says something as small as being able to take naps here made him feel comfortable at USC.
When I first came here, I didn't feel like I really had like a voice on this campus.
But he says there's still room for improvement.
I don't think administration always has our best interests in mind.
That's where Dunn thinks he can help bridge the gap between students and campus officials.
I think when people don't feel like they're a part of this student population and feel like they're adequately supported, then that kind of leads to discrepancies in the manner in which students feel on this campus. And so I think that needs to start with student government.
He says he wants to reach out to students that might not otherwise be represented. For USC Annenberg Media, I'm Cole Sullivan.
It's official, Brexit is happening. British Prime Minister Theresa May pulled the trigger on Article 50 and initiated the beginning of the separation between the UK and the European Union, after almost half a century of partnership.
I want the United Kingdom to emerge from this period of change stronger, fairer, more united and more outward-looking than ever before.
Six-page divorce letter to EU President outlines the procedure for quitting. It will take 2 years to negotiate an exit deal. Discussions between Britain and the 27 other EU nations will include talks of trade terms, immigration rules, financial regulations, and of course money. EU Council President Donald Tusk is not supportive of the breakup and told Britain, quote, "I will not pretend I'm happy today." On Thursday, the British government will publish details of its Great Repeal Bill, which aims to put an end to EU law in the UK.
Annenberg Media's Madison Weil is in Belgium tonight and has reaction at the European Union headquarters in Brussels.
Today, Theresa May's signed letter was delivered to the European Union here in Brussels, signaling the start of Brexit. What does Brexit mean for the European Union politically and economically?
Look, I will not pretend that today is a happy day. It is not a happy day, neither here in Brussels nor in London, because after all, most of the Europeans and almost half of the British voters would have preferred for Britain to stay within the European family. But Madison, paradoxically, what we see is a renewed sense of purpose of the remaining 27.
Although the 27 remaining states have rallied together despite Britain's move, many young European citizens agree it's a disappointing day.
I think the Brexit is kind of a lose-lose situation for both the UK and the European Union, because we were like contributing so many things to each other.
I think it's really sad. Well, we love the British, and they bring a lot to Europe and to the European Union.
I've always considered England as a part of Europe, so to me it's some sort of a tragedy. Okay.
Here at Parliament, EU representatives just briefed us and explained that although they wish the United Kingdom had wanted to remain part of the EU, they are hopeful for peaceful negotiations in the upcoming years on some of their most pressing issues, such as counterterrorism and crime. In Brussels, for Annenberg Media, I'm Madison Weil.
People throughout Europe shared their thoughts on social media today.
Annenberg Media's international reporter Alicia Wajaja is here with what the reaction to Brexit looks like on Twitter.
Thank you, Kaylee and Rachel. Brexit took Twitter by storm today. We asked Annenberg's PR team to look into how people across Europe are feeling on social and just how big the topic is trending.
About 74% of the emotion is neutral. The largest age group that's talking about it is 35 and above. London is the place that predominantly is talking about Brexit the most on Twitter. The president of the EU tweeted about it. That got more than like 6,000 retweets, which is a lot for the span of one day. J.K. Rowling also tweeted, famous author obviously. There's been about 760,000 posts about Brexit, and that number is huge for the amount of posts that are just happening over one day.
We checked at 3 p.m. There are more than 760,000 posts about Brexit just from today. Kaylee and Rachel, back to you.
If you want to get a message to a member of Congress, a new app will make sure your call goes through. Annenberg Media's Fei Chen shows us how it works.
Since the November election, many people who never participated in the political process want their voices heard. Now, a new app makes it easier for citizens to contact their elected officials. It's called Stance.
We find your representatives based on your location. You hold down a button to record a message. You can listen back to it. And if you're happy with the message, you hit send. And then we take care of everything else.
All these steps can be done on your cell phone within a minute. No worries about being put on hold.
We want basically it to be the most accessible app and very easy for anyone to pick up and use. So we wanted to make it dead simple.
Recently, a USC student group provided postcards for students to write their concerns to politicians.
We stamped them and sent them to Washington, D.C. for their congressman to read.
Erickson organized the postcard event. What does he think of this new app?
I'll definitely download it and look at it. Obviously, we're very tech savvy. We like our technology, and that's the easiest way for us to get in contact with our representatives.
This week, Facebook also launched a new feature called Town Hall to help people locate and connect with elected representatives. Some advocacy groups also hope that social media platforms can help them deliver their message to the council members in the city hall.
So all you do is you type in your address and you literally can click call and it'll dial them directly.
It might be easier to get your message to politicians, but the question is, are they listening? For Annenberg Media, this is Fei Chen.
Up next, one group isn't getting a question on the 2020 census. We hear from students about why it matters.
And you may have seen some memes poking fun at President Nikias on social media. We'll talk to two of the designers of the Nikias meme sticker.
And high school girls are already starting to choose their prom dresses. Find out how some students found that dream dress.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place. Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is
it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
That's low, that's low. That's low.
Look, he's blushing.
Seriously.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
The 2020 U.S. Census will not include a question for people to identify themselves as LGBTQ. The idea was proposed, but it was officially taken off the list of demographic questions. The 1990 census was the first time an option for unmarried partner was on the marital status list. The 2010 census was the first time same-sex couples could mark themselves as married. A sexual orientation and gender identity section was proposed for the 2020 census, but it was rejected. We spoke with a USC student who identifies as LGBTQ about what excluding the section means to her.
Though it's not a huge step back, it does feel like the government is hindering the progression still, which is unfortunate. But also it just makes sense to include it because now that we have more people that identify with this and now are like coming out with it, it really does make an impact on the people that it's affecting if you include those questions.
The 2020 census will include the same name, age, race, and other categories as past surveys.
Nearly 12,000 people are on the USC Memes for Spoiled Preteens Facebook page. It is flooded with USC-related memes, many of them poking fun at the structures at the newer gate entrances to campus. Jumping on that trend is a group of USC students who designed a sticker of President Max Nikias riding one of the so-called pointy things. They just recently passed the $500 mark on an Indiegogo campaign. Joining me now are Luke McGartland and Lucas Huberman. Guys, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
So, for people that don't go to school here or have not seen these so-called pointy things, what is the fascination with them?
Well, really, I think it's just the student body has just appointed themselves, no pun intended, that they're the new trend at USC. They were recently installed over the past year, and people just seem to really like them.
What do you think just the fascination is with them and President Nikias? Is it because he's building the village?
Yeah, so I would say that every entrance to the university, they're doing these new renovations where they're literally just putting these pointy things on the top of the sides of the gates to the entrances to the campus. And they're doing that in the UV village as well. So I think people have this fascination with creating kind of a relationship with Nikias through them.
Now, talking about the stickers that you guys designed, President Nikias is just on top of that pointy thing. Where did this idea come from?
It was really inspired by a lot of the other memes that were posted onto the page, and we just thought that we could take a new spin for it and just create something new and try to capitalize on the virality.
Absolutely. And have you guys done anything like this before?
So not specifically stickers. We work together on another business, so our team has kind of built things together, and this was just another venture that we decided to kind of pursue.
And do you think word about these stickers has made its way to President Nikias' office?
Not yet. We haven't heard anything yet. We would really like to hear his thoughts on it. Yeah.
I mean, they are quite funny, so if anyone wants to get their hands on them, how can they do that?
Well, there's a link to the Indiegogo page, should be up on Twitter, and it's on the USC Memes Facebook page as well.
Absolutely, great. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Today was one of the warmer days of the week, even got into the 80s. But will it remain warm? Let's find out from our weather anchor, Madeline Ottley.
Good evening, everyone. What a hot day we had on campus today. It is still really warm out now. Currently, we're looking at temperatures right around 74 degrees. If we look at tomorrow, up in the mountains, we are expecting warmth as well. Big Bear is going to have a low of 36. That high will be right around 54. We've got major wind warnings into that afternoon. Gusts could be as high as 45 miles per hour. Definitely less windy down at the coast. Tomorrow in Malibu, a low of 53 degrees. That high will be closer to 67, which is not too awful for a day at the beach. But if you are stuck on campus, you're going to be rewarded. USC with a low of 54, high 77 degrees. Not too shabby. Let's look at our week ahead now. Temperatures are going to get higher all through next weekend. Nice. We've got 77 on Saturday, 76 on Sunday. Nice and warm. And during the heat, you might want to take a trip down to the coast. Well, you still can. A USGS study released on Monday says more than half of Southern California coastline could completely erode by the year 2100. Researchers found that up to 2/3 of the region's beaches could vanish due to rising sea levels. Sean Vatusik authored the report. He says this study is unique because it predicts the effects of changes in storm patterns from climate change.
If we get to that point where we get to a meter or two of sea level rise above present and the beaches fully erode, we're also going to be experiencing a lot more flooding associated with large wave events. We're going to see these El Nino-like flooding conditions happening on a more and more frequent basis.
Vatusik also says that bringing in outside sand might be the best way to save the beaches. That might not stop the erosion, but it would give waves something else to chew on. Wow, that is so scary. We really take it for granted, all the beautiful coasts that we have here.
Oh, absolutely, especially just being a half an hour away from some of the best beaches in the country.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's hope that they find a solution because we don't want our beautiful beaches to go away. Thank you so much, Madeline. For more than 200 girls, the dream of going to prom became a reality today. Annenberg Media's Mark Salinger was with the students as they got ready for their big night.
It's a closet any princess would be jealous of.
I'm excited because I'm gonna choose my dress and my shoes and everything.
A scavenger hunt full of hundreds of prom dresses, shoes, and jewelry waiting to be found.
The accessories are really cute, but I'm very undecisive.
Giovanna Leal Mayorga is one of 200 LAUSD students who now has the opportunity to go to prom, thanks to Operation School Bell Prom Day.
You can try on as many dresses as you want.
The Assistance League of Los Angeles opened the pop-up boutique to help homeless and low-income high school girls find their dream outfit for the big night.
I saw everything. I felt like a little rush in my body. I was kind of nervous. I ended up choosing about 9 dresses, and I ended up deciding for this one.
Because you want to be able to dance and move and all that stuff, right? And do you wear heels? Are you going to wear heels? Okay.
The Assistance League says more than 15,000 LAUSD students are homeless, making events like prom too expensive for many.
We're providing them an opportunity to attend their high school prom, which they could never afford otherwise. So it's a reward to tell them, good for you, you stayed in school, you're graduating. At the same time, it's an incentive to continue their education.
Today was all about finding that perfect dress.
It means a lot. It means a lot because I never experienced prom.
And making dreams come true.
I probably wouldn't make it to prom because I don't have money to buy a dress.
The chance to forget about money and focus on being a kid. For USC Annenberg Media, I'm Mark Salinger.
Well, Kaylee, I hear that things are heating up on the sand and on the hardwood.
That's right, both of our men's and women's volleyball teams are doing pretty well, but let's hear more from our sports anchor, Julia Adams.
Thanks, Kaylee and Rachel. Coming up next, USC volleyball is on fire, both in the sand and on the court. We went behind the scenes with a women's beach volleyball player to discuss her start in the sport and her pregame rituals.
And we are live here from the Galen Center where tonight the number 11 ranked USC men's volleyball team takes on crosstown rival and number 6 ranked UCLA.
If you store your guns properly, I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids. This isn't a drill.
Please.
Please, do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Get your You're not in here.
Yes, I am.
Move. Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow. I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to ATVN. The USC beach volleyball team is cruising on a 47-match win streak right now. Earlier today, I caught up with April Bustamante to learn a bit more about the star sophomore.
Your team extended their winning streak to 47 matches last night. How does extending the streak put pressure on you and your partner, freshman Joy Dennis, to perform?
Well, we have a very good, solid, deep team, so I think we always depend on our teammates and each other to perform, because we know that if someone's having a bad day or an off day, there's going to be four other teams on to perform and compete. So it puts pressure on Joy and I definitely to perform for ourselves, but we know that we have the team behind us to pick up if we ever fall.
Great. And you actually started playing indoor volleyball. I know you played indoor at Redondo Union High School in Southern California. So how and when did you start playing beach?
Well, I grew up in Redondo Beach, so the beach has always been kind of around, and I picked up volleyball when I was around like 12 years old, and there was always beach tournaments. I got into it because of my sister played volleyball, and I love the beach always, so beach volleyball was like a combination of my two favorite things, so I picked it up and I love it, and I still do, so.
And you've only been playing with your partner, Joy, for just starting this year. Do you guys, how is your relationship special, and how do you guys complement each other on and off the court?
Joy, I love Joy. Joy and I are very, very good friends, and our personalities fit very well on and off the court. We both feed off of each other's energy, and we both understand each other very, very well on and off the court, so it's been so fun, and I'm very, very happy to be playing with her this year.
Do you guys have any pregame rituals or music that you listen to ahead of the games to warm you up at all?
Well, I know Joy really likes YG, and we have a lot of handshakes, so we do incorporate all of those in it.
The two-time national champs traveled to NorCal this weekend for duels in the San Francisco and Monterey Invitationals. And just across Figueroa Street, the men's volleyball team will be hosting rival UCLA tonight. Sports correspondent Angel Vizcarra is at the Galen Center live to preview tonight's game.
Thanks, Julia. Well, we're here at the Galen Center where tonight the number 11th ranked USC men's volleyball team will be taking on crosstown rival and number 6 ranked UCLA on their home floor. And including tonight's matchup, the Trojans have only 4 matches remaining in the regular season, so that postseason is just around the corner for USC. And at 11-12 overall on the season, USC is one of those teams who is on the bubble when it comes to qualifying for next month's MPSF playoff tournament. So the Trojans are obviously trying to get off to a strong finish to their regular season, and it all starts tonight with a tough matchup against a solid UCLA team who they've actually lost to earlier in this season. So a lot on the line for both of these two teams. You can see the players warming up here behind me. A big night of volleyball here from the Galen Center, and back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Angel. From one winning team to another, the undefeated women's water polo team is set to face number 4 ASU on Saturday in an MPSF matchup at Utingzu. The women of Troy are carrying a 51-game win streak into the clash against the Sun Devils, but senior Stefania Haralabides thinks there's still room for improvement.
Our offense is strong right now, but
we need to improve on our defense much more, and we have been improving in practices, and we're becoming more aggressive and having more communication.
If the team secures a win this weekend, they are one step closer to clinching back-to-back national titles for the first time in program history. The NCAA basketball Final Four starts Saturday. We asked USC students if they can name the 4 teams set to play in Phoenix this weekend.
USC, because obviously. Maybe UCLA so we can beat them for the finals.
I have no idea. Wait.
You have the first letter?
Oh, USC, but the wrong USC.
1 second.
Kansas?
I don't know.
That's all we got.
Oregon, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Gonzaga. The correct answer is South Carolina versus Gonzaga and Oregon versus North Carolina. We'll see how they do this weekend. Well, USC students really need to study up on their basketball.
Apparently so. I just hope the Final Four games are just as entertaining as the Elite Eight.
Yeah, and hopefully some students have good brackets so they can get some extra cash maybe.
That would help. Well, a restaurant is popping up in downtown LA for a couple of days.
It's featured in a popular show. We'll take you there.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi. You mean you were driving? Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Addicted fans got one more hit of the crack show Breaking Bad today. A replica of the show's iconic fast food joint, Los Pollos Hermanos, popped up in downtown LA. They weren't serving the good stuff, the show's famous blue meth, but had curly fries for fans instead. Actors from the show were on site to promote a new season of their spin-off Better Call Saul and hang out with fans who wanted to meet the celebrities who got them hooked.
Beautiful show. I'm about to cry right now. Like those two brothers, like I want to get my hands on some chicken, you know, just have a nice day in LA. Life is good. I just want curly fries.
Like all good drugs, the buzz is only temporary. Tomorrow's the last day, but there will be one more chance for fans to get their fix in New York this April.
I love the super fans that go to things like that. It's too funny to watch them.
I know, I'm gonna have to check it out and get me some curly fries. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Rachel Ramos.
And I'm Kaylee Heck. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.